Hi, my name is Polly Dean Harrison with the FinTech Times. I'm here at Insurtech Insights. Could you introduce yourself, please?
Absolutely. I'm Stephen Schwartz, and I'm the Vice President of Insurance Strategy and Underwriting at Safe Security.
Fantastic. And I know that you are a specialist in cyber insurance. So what are the big trends in the cyber insurance industry currently?
Yeah, really great question. It's the cyber insurance industry has been a bit upside down the last year or two. What's happened is, unfortunately, it was sort of this arms race for market share for many years. So you had a lot of new entrants entering the industry, offering more and more coverage for less and less premium. And through 2020, through till today, a lot of insurance companies are now feeling the pain of taking that approach, and that pain is expressed in tangible losses, right? So serious claim activity driven a lot by ransomware, the working from home environment, and what's happened is the end customer, unfortunately, has had to pay for all of that, right? Whether or not they've invested, $2 or $2 million in enhancing their security posture over the last year, they're still getting hit with 150, 200% premium increase at renewal. And it really highlights that there's a pretty big gap between the world of cybersecurity and the world of cyber insurance, and we need to bridge that gap.
Yeah, absolutely. And so how are things like emerging technologies, blockchain, AI, how are they having an effect on the industry?
Yeah, so quite a lot in a variety of different areas across the insurance value chain. Certainly specific to my world, right? It's not necessarily big data, more so smart data, right? How do we make sense out of whether it's coming on a piece of paper and it's a written application, third-party data sources, but how we ultimately ingest, right, that external, internal data about a given company, correlate all that information together and present it in a way, across the value chain that makes sense, but also in a way that enables us to be innovative in terms of how we manage our portfolios. Right, looking at single risks perhaps instead of an all-encompassing cyber insurance policy as an easy example, and certainly on the claims side and with the notion of parametric insurance. Right, parametric insurance is based on the occurrence of an event. So if this happens, we pay Y. And that's a very strong use case for blockchain technology, right? Because that validates you have that ledger, which is a blockchain, and the smart contract rules, right, that can pay a given insured when there is a claim. So I still think we're at the infancy in terms of how these technologies are being implemented and utilized across the industry, but there's no question that there's a tremendous amount of opportunity and value to be gained.
Amazing. And so speaking of technology, what new technology is needed in the industry? Like, where are the gaps? Where are we falling behind?
Really, really interesting question, because I wonder how much of it is a lack in technology or technological advancement versus change management and human culture, right? So it's, unfortunately, the insurance industry is a flawed distribution model. It's one inherent conflict of interest, right? A broker wears three hats. They represent themselves, the client, and the insurance company. This is not to bash on brokers, it's just a function of the industry. And unfortunately, they're driven by the transaction, right? The sale of a policy. They don't get paid to provide strategic advice. So to me, it's how can we collectively leverage technology more effectively to deliver that advisory experience to our end customers, right? And engage those customers after we've sold the insurance policy, because that's what creates trust, stickiness, and really that's when the power of technology will also yield that much more value, because we're that much more integrated with the end customers. We're not 2 degrees removed from them.
Amazing. And finally, I'd love to know what your predictions are for the future of the industry.
Yeah, really, really fascinating question, because there's the industry, there's the cyber insurance industry. I mean, ultimately, I think we're certainly seeing the whole industry recognize the value in leveraging technology, the right data, smart data. What I see really is the industry hopefully collaborating with the appropriate parties such that we can instill the right trust. A lot of people say data is the new oil, and I'll say trust is the new currency. And many would argue that there's perhaps a gap in trust with insurance companies, not around paying claims, but particularly around utilizing additional services and technology that we want to provide our customers to reduce their risk. And to me, I think a big step forward, or where the industry is heading, is moving away from that transactional relationship into that of a strategic advisor, right? And much more engaged and dynamic with the insured. So if they do, X, Y, and Z things throughout the policy period, they have a tangible incentive, whether it's a reduction in premium, deductible, or an increase in coverage, and it just creates a much more dynamic, sticky relationship.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.